On this episode of Explorer, we're visiting South Holston Lake and Reservoir. We get our share of rain, and the natural water systems of streams and creeks that drain the area between the Clinch Mountain Range to the northwest and the Holston Range to the southeast converge into three meandering rivers. Their names are easy to remember. They are the North Fork of the Holston, the Middle Fork of the Holston, and the South Fork of the Holston River. The North Fork stays right in the shadow of Clinch Mountain all the way to Kingsport, but its two cousins to the south wander far and wide across the broad valley. And finally, the Middle Fork and the South Fork converge here at Alvarado, Virginia. That South Fork of the Holston River travels through many deep canyons, and in the early days of the 20th century, several power companies were interested in the South Holston River watershed, particularly in this area between the foothills of Holston Mountain and this ridge of rough terrain simply called the Knobs in this U.S. Geological Survey map from 1934. In the 1920s, the Holston River Power Company conducted a massive survey of the basin. But on May 18th of 33, Congress passed the TVA Act, giving the Tennessee Valley Authority control of the power needs of the region. It proposed the construction of two dams in the area, one at Cardin's Bluff, known as Watauga Dam, and the other at the western opening between the Knobs and the foothills of Holston Mountain, forming a workable span of 1,600 feet to obtain a height of 285 feet. The primary purpose for building these two dams was flood control, especially in light of a disastrous flood in 1940 that had destroyed several structures in Bluff City and Kingsport, both downstream from the proposed dam sites. The dams would also produce electricity to help TVA meet the high demand for power in the region. But the proposed reservoir was going to require that 12,860 acres of land be purchased, 3,875 of which had to be cleared. An entire farming community of 342 families, as well as 559 graves, had to be displaced, and over 30 miles of roads had to be relocated. And then there was Big Creek. It was a resort area where a stream of the same name emptied into the South Fork of the Holston. It was a nice, cool place for locals to come in the summer months. Behind me is Big Creek Cove. Years before the dam was built, and about 250 feet below the water level now, there was a railroad that ran from Bristol to Big Creek. It was the place to be during the summer, and the rail service had been there since the turn of the century. And there's a lot of considerations when building a lake, especially a lake with a water level that is higher than some of the surrounding land. Any miscalculations, and the lake overflows the Knobs into the valley towards Bluff City. So, after careful consideration, a saddle dam had to be constructed here at Observation Knob at Painter's Spring. The area is still called Observation Knob, and there's a picnic area and a boat launch and a 3,400-foot-long saddle dam. The area behind the main dam had to be flattened and enlarged as much as possible to drive that 44 megawatt turbine with millions of tons of water. These two spurs were both chopped off to enlarge the main reservoir. Then most of the town turned out to watch the first dynamite blast, just a few hundred yards downriver from the site of the main dam. The dam was an earth-filled dam, and this is where most of the earth was going to come from. Soon after that, in 1942, TVA was ordered to shut down construction because of other priorities brought on by the effort to win World War II. 5 years later, construction restarted, and on November 20th, the gates closed and South Holston River started to become South Holston Lake. In less than 3 months, the lake was full and the massive turbine went online. The lake became an instant success for a recreation area, and boat docks that once looked like this have grown into huge complexes with just about any kind of boats and services. They also have become a place for dining out and listening to good music during the warmer months.
We have a restaurant, which is doing quite well, along with the bar area. We do live music on weekends, have several large events that they hold out here. Like a grocery store on the lake, we provide anything from camper needs, drinks, food, snacks, anything like that you would need. Ice if you forget that on your way out.
Word is getting out.
You'll see a lot of people now from Boone area and then a lot of Southwest Virginia.
In 1991, TVA built 2 weir dams, one on either side of Osceola Island, just downstream from South Holston Dam. The purpose of the dams was to improve water quality downstream.
And it definitely worked. In the spring, when the serviceberry and dogwood bloom, the white bass run, and that makes the fishing down below the dam about as good as it gets.
Osceola Island, besides the weir dams, offers many recreational opportunities with hiking paths, bicycling trails, park benches, picnic areas. All in all, it's a wonderful place for a family outing.
We come out because they have beautiful walking trails and really nice scenery out here. Our dog enjoys coming out and walking.
Likes to swim.
Likes to swim, yeah. We pretty much just come out and walk. Sometimes we have picnics and stuff.
A lot of people canoe and fish, do all sorts of stuff out here, bike ride. Sometimes we bring the bikes out.
It's very beautiful. Like, if I come out here to relax or just,
the scenery is really nice.
Relieves stress. It's very relaxing. Yeah. Puts you in a great mood. It's very beautiful out here.
Peaceful. Very peaceful, too. Everyone's pretty nice, too.
And there are breathtaking views everywhere you look.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Explore. South Holston Lake really is one of the gems of our area. Do yourself a favor. Grab the kids, get the dogs, and get out and enjoy nature in this beautiful area that we call home.